Ladies and gentlemen, time is the most valuable asset anyone has, yet it is often taken for granted. Unlike money, possessions, or even relationships, time is the one resource that once lost can never be regained. Every second that passes is gone forever, which is why it is crucial to recognize the value of time and use it wisely. People often assume they have unlimited time to pursue their dreams, improve their skills, or create a meaningful life, but the reality is that time is finite. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, and before they know it, they are looking back, wondering where all the time went. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing they have tomorrow to do the things they should be doing today. This mindset creates a cycle of procrastination and regret. Every year that passes is another year closer to the end of one's life, and if that year is wasted, it is not just a number, it is a portion of one's existence that can never be reclaimed. People often postpone their dreams, waiting for the perfect moment to start. They convince themselves that they will begin when they have more money, more confidence, or fewer responsibilities. But the truth is, there will never be a perfect time. The best time to start anything meaningful is always now. Many people also waste time on things that do not truly matter. It is easy to fall into the trap of distractions, whether it be scrolling endlessly through social media, binge watching television, or engaging in pointless arguments. These activities do not contribute to personal growth or fulfillment. Instead, they drain valuable hours that could be used for self-improvement, pursuing passions, or building meaningful relationships. The challenge is to recognize where time is being wasted and take control of how it is spent. Life is short, and every moment wasted is a moment that could have been used to get closer to one's goals. The most successful people understand that time must be managed with intention. They do not allow themselves to drift through life without direction. Instead, they set clear goals, create a plan, and take consistent action. They prioritize activities that bring them closer to their dreams and cut out distractions that do not serve their purpose. This is not about being busy for the sake of being busy. It is about being productive in a way that truly matters. Many people mistake activity for achievement, spending their time on things that make them feel busy, but do not actually move them forward. Real progress comes from focusing on high-impact activities that create meaningful results. Another important aspect of valuing time is recognizing the importance of saying no. Many people struggle with this because they feel obligated to please others. They say yes to social events they do not enjoy, commitments that drain their energy, or projects that do not align with their goals. Every time they say yes to something unimportant, they are saying no to something that could have been meaningful. Learning to say no is one of the most powerful ways to protect one's time and ensure it is used wisely. Time is also a great equalizer. No matter how rich, successful, or powerful someone is, they only have 24 hours in a day, just like everyone else. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who remain stuck in mediocrity is how they choose to use those 24 hours. Some people wake up with purpose, plan their days intentionally, and take action toward their dreams. Others wake up without direction, react to whatever comes their way, and let their time slip through their fingers. The choice of how to use time ultimately determines the quality of life one experiences. Regret is one of the most painful emotions a person can feel, and it is almost always tied to time wasted. At the end of life, people do not regret the risks they took, the dreams they pursued, or the meaningful moments they spent with loved ones. They regret the opportunities they let pass by, the time they wasted worrying about things that never mattered, and the years they spent stuck in fear instead of taking action. The best way to avoid this kind of regret is to start living intentionally today. Instead of waiting for some undefined future moment to begin, the key is to take action immediately. It is also essential to recognize that valuing time does not mean constantly working or being in a state of stress. Using time wisely also includes rest, reflection, and spending quality time with loved ones. The point is to be conscious of how time is spent, ensuring that it aligns with what truly matters. True success is not just about achieving goals, it is about creating a fulfilling and meaningful life. Every moment counts, and by choosing to be intentional with time, one can create a life filled with purpose, growth, and joy. Ultimately, time is a non-renewable resource that must be treated with the respect it deserves. No one knows how much time they have left, and that uncertainty should be a motivation to stop wasting time on things that do not matter. Every day is an opportunity to get closer to dreams, to become a better person, and to make a difference. The best way to honor the gift of time is to use it in a way that creates a life worth living. Many people go through life choosing comfort over clarity, settling for what is familiar rather than striving for what is possible. It is easy to fall into the trap of routine, where daily life consists of the same habits, the same thoughts, and the same results. While comfort provides a sense of security, it often comes at the cost of growth and fulfillment. The only way to break free from this cycle is to gain clarity on what truly matters and set bold goals that challenge limitations. Clarity is the foundation of progress, and without it, people drift aimlessly, wasting time on things that do not align with their true potential. The problem with choosing comfort is that it keeps people stuck in mediocrity. It is natural to avoid uncertainty and discomfort because the human brain is wired for survival, seeking stability and predictability. However, the greatest achievements in life do not come from staying in a safe zone. They come from stepping into the unknown, pushing through fear, and daring to pursue something bigger than what currently exists. Clarity is what separates those who create extraordinary lives from those who remain stagnant. Without a clear vision, people are left reacting to circumstances rather than shaping their own destiny. Setting bold goals begins with defining a vision that is bigger than current circumstances. Many people set small, safe goals because they fear failure. They choose goals that feel achievable rather than goals that excite and challenge them. While small goals may lead to some progress, they rarely create the kind of transformation that leads to a meaningful and fulfilling life. Bold goals, on the other hand, require people to think differently, to grow beyond their current abilities, and to develop new skills. They force people to stretch beyond their comfort zone, which is where real change happens. One of the biggest obstacles to setting bold goals is self-doubt. People often question whether they are capable, smart, or talented enough to achieve something significant. These doubts create hesitation, causing them to stay in their familiar routines rather than take risks. The truth is that no one starts with all the answers or the perfect plan. Clarity is not something that appears fully formed. It is something that is developed through action. The more steps people take toward their goals, the clearer their path becomes. Waiting for clarity before taking action is a mistake. Clarity comes from movement, from trying, failing, adjusting, and continuing forward. Another challenge people face is the fear of failure. The idea of failing is often so uncomfortable that many never even attempt to reach for something greater. However, failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary part of it. Every successful person has experienced failure, setbacks, and moments of doubt. What separates them from those who remain stuck is their willingness to keep going despite those obstacles. Failure provides valuable lessons, revealing weaknesses, strengths, and new opportunities that would not have been discovered otherwise. Instead of fearing failure, people should embrace it as a sign that they are pushing their limits and growing. Clarity over comfort also requires eliminating distractions that pull attention away from what truly matters. In today's world, there are endless sources of distraction: social media, entertainment, constant notifications, and other people's expectations. It is easy to spend hours every day on things that provide temporary pleasure but do not contribute to long-term goals. Without discipline, days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before people realize it, years have passed without any real progress. Gaining clarity means being intentional about where energy and focus are directed. It requires cutting out the unnecessary and prioritizing what leads to growth and fulfillment. Another important aspect of setting bold goals is having a strong reason behind them. A goal without purpose is easy to abandon when challenges arise. But when there is a deep emotional connection to a goal, it becomes easier to stay committed, even when things get difficult. Many people fail to achieve their goals because they set them based on external validation rather than internal motivation. They pursue things because they think they should rather than because they truly want to. Real clarity comes from understanding personal values, passions, and what brings a sense of purpose. When goals are aligned with these deeper motivations, they become more than just ambitions, they become a mission. Taking bold action also requires surrounding oneself with the right people. The environment plays a crucial role in whether someone stays in their comfort zone or pushes beyond it. Being around people who settle for less, who complain, or who discourage big thinking can make it difficult to stay motivated. On the other hand, being around ambitious, driven individuals who are constantly pushing themselves can create an atmosphere of inspiration and accountability. The people one interacts with most often influence their mindset, habits, and beliefs. Choosing to be around those who encourage growth and challenge limits makes a significant difference in achieving bold goals. One of the most powerful shifts a person can make is changing their identity to align with their goals. Many people try to achieve new things while still holding on to an old version of themselves. They may want to be successful, but still identify as someone who procrastinates or lacks confidence. Real transformation happens when people shift their self-image to match the goals they are striving for. Instead of saying, "I want to be successful," they must start seeing themselves as someone who is disciplined, focused, and capable. When identity shifts, actions follow, and success becomes inevitable. Ultimately, choosing clarity over comfort is about deciding to live with intention rather than by default. It is about taking ownership of one's future rather than leaving it up to chance. Bold goals create excitement, energy, and purpose, turning life into an adventure rather than a routine. The only real failure is staying the same, choosing comfort over growth, and looking back years from now with regret. The best time to gain clarity and set bold goals is now. The sooner action is taken, the sooner progress is made, and the more fulfilling life becomes. Taking action is the most critical step toward success, yet many people get stuck waiting for the perfect moment. They overthink, overanalyze, and hesitate because they believe they need more preparation, more knowledge, or more confidence before they begin. This mindset creates a cycle of inaction where time passes but nothing changes. The truth is, perfection is an illusion. There will never be a moment when everything is perfectly aligned, and waiting only leads to wasted time and missed opportunities. Progress comes from doing, not from endless planning or waiting for certainty. One of the biggest reasons people struggle to take action is fear of failure, fear of judgment, or even fear of success. They worry about making mistakes, looking foolish, or not being good enough. However, every successful person has experienced failure, made mistakes, and faced criticism. The difference is that they did not let these fears stop them from moving forward. They understood that failure is not the opposite of success, but a necessary part of it. Every mistake is a lesson, every setback is a stepping stone, and every action taken, even imperfectly, builds experience and confidence. Progress over perfection means valuing movement over hesitation. It is better to take one imperfect step forward than to remain stuck in endless preparation. Many people believe they need to have everything figured out before they start. But the truth is, clarity comes through action. The more steps taken, the more lessons learned, and the more refined the path becomes. Success is a process of trial and error, and only those who are willing to take risks and learn along the way will reach their goals. Another major roadblock to action is perfectionism. While striving for excellence is important, perfectionism often becomes an excuse for procrastination. People tell themselves they need more time to perfect their ideas, their skills, or their plans, but in reality, they are just delaying progress. No one gets everything right the first time. Every expert was once a beginner, and every great achievement started as an imperfect first attempt. The sooner people accept that imperfection is part of the process, the sooner they can make real progress. Taking action also builds momentum. The hardest part of any journey is often just getting started. Once movement begins, it becomes easier to keep going. Small steps lead to bigger steps, and before long, what once seemed impossible becomes achievable. Many people look at their big goals and feel overwhelmed, which leads them to do nothing at all. The key is to break big goals into smaller, manageable steps and focus on completing one step at a time. Each small win creates motivation, reinforcing the habit of action and making it easier to keep going. One of the best ways to ensure consistent action is to remove distractions and excuses. It is easy to get caught up in the busyness of life, responding to emails, scrolling through social media, or filling time with unimportant tasks. However, none of these things bring real progress. People must become aware of where their time and energy are going and eliminate anything that does not align with their goals. Discipline and focus are essential for making progress, and this requires being intentional about how time is spent each day. Another key to taking action is embracing imperfection. Many people hold themselves back because they believe their work is not good enough. They wait until they feel more prepared, more skilled, or more confident, but confidence does not come from waiting, it comes from doing. No one reaches mastery without first going through a period of struggle and learning. Those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented or the most intelligent. They are simply the ones who refuse to quit. They took action even when they were unsure, learned from their mistakes, and improved over time. The importance of consistency cannot be overstated. Many people take action once or twice but give up when they do not see immediate results. Real progress requires persistence. Success is not about making one big leap. It is about showing up every day, even when it is difficult. The greatest breakthroughs often come from pushing through moments of frustration and doubt. Those who succeed are not the ones who never struggle, they are the ones who keep going despite the struggle. Taking action also requires a shift in mindset. Instead of seeing obstacles as reasons to stop, they should be viewed as opportunities to grow. Every challenge faced and every failure experienced is a chance to learn and improve. Those who achieve great things are not the ones who had an easy path. They are the ones who refused to let obstacles define them. They adapted, they adjusted, and they kept moving forward. It is also important to recognize that progress is not always linear. There will be ups and downs, moments of rapid growth, and periods of stagnation. This is natural, and it should not be a reason to give up. The key is to trust the process and stay committed to the journey. Even when progress feels slow, every action taken brings one step closer to the goal. The only true failure is giving up completely. Ultimately, success belongs to those who take action. Dreams and ideas mean nothing without execution. Those who achieve great things are not the ones who had perfect plans or ideal circumstances. They are the ones who took action despite uncertainty, fear, and imperfection. The best way to make progress is to start, to learn along the way, and to keep going no matter what challenges arise. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Perfection is an illusion, but progress is real, and it is the only path to success. Distractions and excuses are the biggest obstacles to progress, yet they often go unnoticed because they become a normal part of daily life. People set goals, make plans, and dream of a better future, but they often fail to follow through because their time and energy are consumed by things that do not matter. Distractions pull focus away from what is important, and excuses justify inaction. Both of these habits create a cycle of wasted time, unfulfilled potential, and regret. If real change is to happen, distractions must be eliminated and excuses must be abandoned. Only then can full potential be reached. Distractions come in many forms, and they are everywhere. Social media, entertainment, unnecessary conversations, and even small daily habits can take up significant amounts of time. Technology has made distractions more accessible than ever, making it easy to spend hours scrolling through endless feeds or consuming content that provides no real value. The biggest danger of distractions is that they do not always feel harmful. Checking social media for a few minutes may seem harmless, but those minutes add up. Hours are lost every day on activities that provide temporary pleasure, but no lasting benefits. The key to eliminating distractions is awareness. Recognizing what steals attention is the first step toward regaining control over time. One of the most effective ways to remove distractions is to create an environment that supports focus. This means setting up a workspace that is free from unnecessary interruptions, turning off notifications, and scheduling specific times for important tasks. Many people struggle with focus because they allow distractions to control their environment. Phones are constantly buzzing, emails demand immediate attention, and entertainment is always within reach. However, focus is not something that happens automatically. It is something that must be protected. Creating boundaries and setting clear priorities makes it easier to stay on track. Excuses are another major reason why people fail to take action. Unlike distractions, which come from external sources, excuses come from within. They are the stories people tell themselves to justify why they are not making progress. I don't have enough time, I'm not ready, or I'll start tomorrow are common excuses that keep people stuck in the same place. The problem with excuses is that they feel valid in the moment. It is easy to believe that circumstances are not ideal or that waiting is the better option. However, excuses are just a way of avoiding discomfort. Growth requires effort, and effort often comes with struggle. Those who make progress do not have fewer challenges, they simply refuse to let excuses stop them. One of the biggest excuses people use is the lack of time. Many believe they are too busy to work on their goals, but the reality is that time is a matter of priorities. There are 24 hours in a day, and how those hours are spent determines what gets accomplished. People who succeed in their goals do not have more time than others, they simply use their time more effectively. They cut out unnecessary activities, wake up earlier, and stay committed to their plans. If something is truly important, time will be made for it. The question is not whether there is time, but whether the time available is being used wisely. Another common excuse is the fear of failure. Many people do not take action because they worry about making mistakes, looking foolish, or not getting the results they want. However, failure is a natural part of progress. No one succeeds without failing first. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is that successful people see failure as a lesson rather than a reason to quit. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, adjust, and improve. Avoiding action because of fear only ensures that nothing changes. The only way to overcome fear is to face it head-on and take action despite it. Procrastination is a combination of both distractions and excuses. It is the habit of delaying what needs to be done in favor of something easier or more enjoyable. Procrastination feels good in the moment, but it creates stress, pressure, and regret in the long run. The best way to overcome procrastination is to take immediate action, even if it is a small step. Getting started is often the hardest part, but once momentum is built, it becomes easier to keep going. Setting deadlines, breaking tasks into smaller steps, and holding oneself accountable are all effective ways to beat procrastination. Another factor that contributes to distractions and excuses is the people surrounding us. Negative or unmotivated individuals can make it harder to stay focused and committed to goals. Conversations filled with complaints, gossip, or negativity can drain energy and shift focus away from what truly matters. Surrounding oneself with motivated, disciplined, and ambitious people makes a significant difference. When people are in an environment where growth and progress are valued, they are more likely to stay on track. Discipline is the ultimate solution to distractions and excuses. While motivation can help in the short term, discipline is what keeps people going when motivation fades. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when it is difficult or inconvenient. It requires commitment, consistency, and self-control. Those who master discipline can achieve anything they set their minds to because they do not allow distractions or excuses to dictate their actions. They take responsibility for their time, energy, and decisions, ensuring that every moment is used with purpose. Eliminating distractions and excuses is not easy, but it is necessary for success. It requires self-awareness, effort, and a willingness to change habits. The first step is identifying what is getting in the way of progress. Once distractions and excuses are recognized, they can be replaced with better habits, stronger discipline, and a clearer focus on what truly matters. The goal is not to be perfect, but to make continuous improvements. Every small change leads to bigger results over time. Ultimately, success is about taking control of one's life and making intentional choices. Time is too valuable to waste on distractions, and potential is too great to be limited by excuses. Those who take action, stay focused, and refuse to settle for less than their best will achieve what they once thought was impossible. The difference between those who succeed and those who do not is not talent, luck, or intelligence. It is the ability to eliminate distractions, reject excuses, and commit to progress every single day.